Hey guys, Stay Patient here, and today I'm going to show you how to get 7 of the miscellaneous trophies on Deus Ex Mankind Divided, all done nice and early in the game. Now, you're going to need to be at a certain point in the game. It may work if you do this later on, but ideally you want to have reached the second part of the city, and you want to have this mission open to get the calibrator for Collar. Now, the reason for this is because there's a bunch of enemies that won't be enemies for very long if you carry out this mission. So you're going to go to this point on the map, and from here you're going to make a save. Now, this is a save that you're going to be able to come back to later and not have spent any of your org points or your Praxis Kits or whatever they're called, and you're going to go back to how things were before you started this method. This is literally to get all these trophies out the way nice and quickly so that you don't have to worry about keeping Praxis points back while you're playing the game. Because obviously usually you would need to hold back a bunch of points and then use those points to sort of activate certain augmentations when the perfect opportunity for one of these trophies presents itself. But we're going to follow the waypoint here. Instead of going to the next waypoint though, you'll see it on the map here, or you see it on the screen to the left there. We're going to go round to the right. Now from here there is a hack, sort of a door that you need to hack. I'm going to use my multi-tool, and it is going to use that up, but don't worry, we're going to be reverting back to our save that we just made later anyway. So we're going to hack this, and the reason we're going this way is because if you go through the other door, it's going to trigger a conversation with the enemies, and then you're not actually going to be able to fight them. But from here, we are going to, I decided to change my difficulty to the lowest one, just to make these trophies a bit easier. And then from there, I'm going to make another save, and this is going to be used as a kind of anchor point to go back and forth from as we're doing each of these trophies. But make sure you save over a different slot to the one that you saved over just a moment ago. So from here, we're going to work on one trophy at a time, and the first one we're going to be getting is Slow and Sharp, which involves landing an explosive nanoblade shot on 3 enemies at once while the focus augmentation is active. So obviously you want to go into your org screen here, and you're going to buy the focus enhancement as well as all the upgrades for the nanoblade. Now make sure that they're both sort of equipped on 2 of your slots, and be sure that you know which slots are which. And then we're going to sneak in, and we are going to use our focus augmentation before holding down the button for the nanoblade, which will give us the explosive version. You hold it down for long enough and then fire it, and that is going to kill us as well as 3 enemies, and pop the Slow and Sharp trophy. Now from here, obviously, we're going to reload the save that we just made a second ago, and we're now going to work on Taser Fist, which involves locking on and deploying the quad arc upgrade of the Tesla knuckle on 4 enemies at once. Now obviously we're going to need to buy the Tesla augmentation, and we're going to also need to buy all of the upgrades that increase the number of enemies that you can hit at one time, all the way up to 4. And I also decided to take the range upgrade as well, because that will just make things a little bit easier if some of the enemies are a bit further away. And we're going to use the same group of enemies for this, so we're going to move in. I also decided to buy the focus enhancement as well, and that's just going to give us a bit more time to be able to lock on before the enemies all take us down, because there's quite a few in this area, so you do have to be careful even though we're on the lowest difficulty. So once again, we're going to move to the same location. We're going to use our focus, and then we're just going to scan across and lock onto 4 of these, let go of the button once they're all locked on, and they'll all be hit, and the trophy will pop. There you go, Taser Fist, with whatever word they chose to put at the beginning. So now, once we've reloaded again, we're going to work on the Invincible Body fighting an Iron Devil. This is for blocking an incoming enemy explosive with the Titan Shield. So of course we need to go back into our orgs and buy the Titan Shield, which is in the second row from the bottom. And I decided to go with all the upgrades just so that it didn't use quite so much energy. This one involves blocking a grenade or any kind of explosive, so the easiest way of doing this is by hiding in cover so the enemies are forced to throw grenades at you. You also want to equip a weapon for this, because there is one enemy that's going to mess with your attempts if he stays alive. So you want to take him out, and then all the other enemies are going to be nicely positioned to be able to throw grenades at you. It's not this enemy here, even though I did shoot him once. We want to take this guy out in this room, and I didn't realise how low I was on ammo, but we managed to take him down, and then we're going to hide by the door. Now what's going to happen is someone is eventually going to throw a grenade through, and of course you do want to make sure that your Titan shield is equipped to one of your slots. And as soon as the grenade comes in, you tap the button to activate your shield, blocking the explosion and popping the trophy. Okay, so now on to This Is Great for Spring Cleaning, where we need to use both the knockback and precision functions of the PEP's arm cannon at least once. Now, it's worth bearing in mind that both of these uses do have to strike an enemy. I tried using them just out in the open and the trophy didn't pop, so you do need to use both the knockback and the precision functions against an actual enemy. So we're going to fully upgrade our PEP's upgrade here, our PEP's augmentation I should say, and we are going to start off with the precision one, which involves holding down the button just because that takes longer to charge. And then once you've used that, we can nice and quickly use the other sort of knockback function, which is just a case of pressing the button once. So there we go, one more trophy down. And next we're going to work on ramming speed. Now this requires us to ram dash into an enemy NPC with a fully charged Icarus dash. So once again we're going to buy the Icarus dash this time, and we're going to fully upgrade it as well so that we can use it as a charged move. We can hold down the button and charge it up. But there is one thing to bear in mind with this one. You do need a certain amount of distance between you and the enemy that you strike. So what I decided to do first of all was attempt to hit the enemy in the doorway from the back corner of this room to see if that was far enough. And you'll notice that in my doing so the trophy didn't pop. I held it down for quite a while to charge it up. I struck that enemy and there was no trophy. But that did alert everyone to my presence, and that's a good thing because what you want to do is lead them back down this longer corridor, which gives you a bit sort of more space to be able to strike them from a further distance. So if you take cover at the end of the corridor here, and then the guys are going to come around looking for you, you can charge up your move while you're in cover and then pop out of cover, wait until the little fist icon shows above someone's head, charge into them, and they'll go down and the trophy will pop. There you go, ramming speed. So now we can move on to Express Elevator to Hell going down. Now this is one of those slightly more kind of situational trophies. You do need some height to be able to drop down on enemies from, so I decided to give this a try in this area using the ladder. So what I did is obviously I bought the Typhoon and I bought the Icarus Landing, because the description of the trophy is to land an Icarus Landing and strike on foes and clear out the pack with the Typhoon, just to make sure. So in other words, you need to use your Icarus Landing and your strike while you're using it to hit one enemy, and then you need to almost immediately use your Typhoon to be able to kill at least one more enemy. You don't need to clear out the entire group of enemies as the trophy might suggest. So what I did is I got their attention and I tried to get them all following me up here towards the ladder. The other important thing to mention, of course, is that you do need some ammo for your Typhoon. But eventually these guys will start making their way up. I decided to run around and sort of remind these guys down this corridor that I was here and try and get them to follow me. But you want at least 2 enemies to follow you to the bottom of the stairs. As soon as you see them making their way towards you, quickly climb up because you don't want to be killed, and a hologram of your last known location will appear at the bottom and they'll all go and investigate it. So when you look down the ladder, you should see 1 or 2 enemies down there. So use your Icarus strike, and then you might need to move a little bit to get within range of your next enemy. Use your Typhoon, that will take out the second enemy and will pop the trophy. So that's a nice easy location to be able to get this trophy out the way nice and early, because most of these can be earned at any point in the game, but you do need Praxis points available to be able to buy whichever of the upgrades or augmentations you need. So doing it this way means that you can spend your Praxis points and you don't have to hold them back throughout the whole game. Another reason this is the ideal time and place to be able to get these trophies is because you'll literally just have rescued Collar and he'll have reset your suit, giving you a nice lot of Praxis points to spend. So here we are back at the first area that you start off in, because I couldn't find any of these drones in the area that we had moved to for the rest of the trophies. So as you've probably guessed, we're now going for the ground mail was a better option trophy for flawlessly disabling a drone via remote hacking. So you need to fully upgrade the remote hacking augmentation, and then from here I'm going to show you what happens if you fail and explain how we go about doing this. But first of all, I'm going to make a save over the save slot that we were using earlier, because we no longer need that one and we can use that to come back to if we need to. But here we are. If you miss one of these little triggers, you need to flawlessly hit both of them at the perfect time. So if you do miss one, it won't pop the trophy, but if you come back and you hit both without missing any, then you will pop the trophy. So there you go, trophy number 7 within about 10 or 15 minutes. And now of course from here you'll be able to reload the save that you made right at the beginning, not the one that we've just overwritten, but the one we made before we started any of these, so that you get everything back, you get all your praxis points, any items or ammo that you've used during this process. And the only combat trophy that you're going to be left with is the one for taking out a camouflaged enemy whilst you're also camouflaged. And that's probably an upgrade or an augmentation that you're going to want to take anyway if you're going for a stealth playthrough. So that's going to be nice and easy to get later on. So I hope this video has been helpful for you guys. Good luck with the rest of the platinum, and I'll catch you all very soon.